Namaste. This is Yoga Therapy Podcast, and I'm your host, Shira, yoga teacher, yoga therapist, and Ayurvedic wellness educator. In these conversations with experts in the field of yoga therapy, you'll find out what it is and how it can help you and your loved ones to reclaim well-being. We'll touch on physical as well as mental health, physiology, emotions, women's health, spiritual well-being, goddesses, and self-development in the fullest sense. Listening to another story can change ours, so thank you for showing up, and let's begin this journey together. All right, hello everyone. So today we are joined by this amazing woman called Beth Spindler. So Beth has been teaching since 1976. That's a really long time. That's like I was 1 year old. She holds a highest certification in yoga therapy. She's an author of Yoga Therapy for Fear, treating anxiety, depression, and rage. She leads retreats worldwide and writes and presents for Yoga International. So welcome and thank you for being here, Beth. It's really an honor.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So tell us about your story. Tell us how you started yoga, and I'm sure it organically evolved into yoga therapy for you very early on by the sounds of things.
Yeah. I was a kind of a weird little girl that was attracted through books and discovered them in libraries and thought how wonderfully strange all the yoga practices were. And I was very non-athletic, and it was so cool that I could do these squirmy fun things, and they made me feel wonderful, and so I I started watching things like Lilias Folan on Lilias Yoga and You on PBS, and I thought, oh yeah, and I grew my hair long and braided it down the side, and just to look like her, and I just it was everything I wanted to be, and so I wanted to, from the time I was like 10. That was what I wanted to do, was yoga. And then my sister and I found a class locally, and it was, you do like, it would be one side of triangle, and then you'd lie down and do shavasana, and then another side of triangle, and then you'd lie down and do shavasana, and it was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. And it was it really, I think it influenced how I teach. It was that it's cool to pause between sides, and I think that influenced how I understand yoga now. I lost that somewhere in between, when I went through my high speed 20s and 30s, when I was ripping through asana, muscling my way through, powering my way through, and being a fierce
super yogi. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it was, when back then it was, I thought it was ultimately groovy, and that's how I got in. But later on, I went through the asana somehow didn't even hardly occur to me in my 20s. Kevin and I encountered yoga philosophy in I came in kind of through the meditation door by I'd come in through metaphysical teachings and a lot of reading, and then started reading Eknath Easwaran, and met him in the San Francisco Bay Area when we were living there, and we started coming to his lectures and classes, and then were invited with his small group of about, I think there were only about 40 of us to live and study in his group. Yeah, and so it was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
For young people to live and study with such a scholar. He brilliant man. And so I
this
learned
is
from one of the best, but at
Eknath.
zero. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I've read. I've got two.
Eknath Easwaran.
Yes. Beautiful writer and poet. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. And he but zero asana, absolutely none. And he in fact said he did not want us practicing asana or doing the, as he said, occult breath practices.
Oh, wow.
Because his opinion, he came to the US in 59, and he felt that that particularly Americans were going to forget what yoga was about. And his path was meditation, and then maybe you do some meditation. And he wanted us to he didn't want us to get sidetracked, and he knew what American minds were, and he knew when he saw people with with their legs in bizarre positions, that they were going to go, that's what I wanted. They're over there.
Showing off.
That's yoga right there. That's where
the more difficult stuff.
That's
for the body.
Advanced yoga. Forget this sitting here with the on the pillow when I'm trying to do something with your mind. This over here. And he was right. And of course, but I have to say, because I had been introduced, this was the 80s, and I had been introduced to asana. I cheated, and my back hurt, my body hurt. I was doing stuff before I would meditate and after I'd meditate, because I intuitively I knew that my body needed the movement. He felt that you could walk and sit, say, go on mantra. Yeah. He said, go on mantra walks, and coordinate the rhythm of the mantra, and or he always said mantra, but go on coordinate the rhythm of the mantra and the rhythm of your steps, and that's adequate. Or he said younger bodies might run, but you and good hard work.
But how old were you at this time?
I was in my 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were eager to move your body as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I was singing jazz too,
Oh,
which
wow.
that was my career
Oh,
at
really?
that time. I taught.
Uh-huh.
I Now teaching yoga was not really popular. I had taught a little yoga, and teaching yoga was not really. I taught in church basements and that kind of thing. And I was and in the Midwest I'd taught, and then I'd moved to the San Francisco area, and I taught there. But even there, it wasn't really popular, and you
No.
had to call it things like noon stretch, do it to rhythm, and you'd be doing, doing it to some song, and it was a strange thing. It was a strange thing. I would do
Well, the
that
70s.
Oh God. Yeah, well, and trying to sing jazz at the same time, which was not a popular thing either. And people were saying, "Would you do Donna Summers?" And I'm, oh, please, no,
She works hard for the money.
Let me sing jazz.
I did my jazz ballet to that music.
Yeah. So I've never known what it's like to go with flow so much. It's always
kind of against the flow.
I mean, up to the hell.
Oh, I know that story. I feel very similar. Okay, so how did it transform into yoga therapy? How long did you stay with Eknath? And I read in your bio that you went to Iyengar, and that was very interesting for you. You went deep into that, and then it became flow, and then it was more the therapeutic.
Yeah. So the studying the Iyengar with all the senior Iyengar teachers was probably my introduction to a lot of the therapeutic. You do this for headache, and you do this for this and this for that, and learning all of the applications that way. And and I did that. I taught in studios that were Iyengar studios for based for 7-8 years. And then at some, and I started branching out into teachers that were more
diverse.
Let's say more diverse. I would even say more feminine voice.
Yes.
Yeah. I felt the voice was not mine, and I couldn't. I didn't resonate with the. I felt there was a militaristic voice, and when I go to classes, or when I don't go to classes really anymore, but when I've studied with teachers now from that lineage, I don't hear it as much. I don't hear the barking, or the up against the wall.
I think everyone's learned to speak differently over the last 5 years. We've all understood that it can be very traumatizing for certain individuals. But I loved Iyengar for a very long time, just because it's kind of scientific, and it's really good if you've got one of these curious minds who likes details, and to find this right positioning and to play around with your body in such precise manner, because that helps you to become embodied for these people who are very flighty in their head.
Oh, and for learning anatomy of teaching, and for training teachers in the
poses,
alignment, and in poses, it was very good. Except then I had to unlearn a lot of that alignment isn't applicable
to everyone,
in that way. That alignment is an extremely individual
experience.
And, but the journey took me to being the kind of student that I am. I am, I'm rather Vodic in my journey, and
you go to the extreme. You fully go into it.
I go into things all the way, but I was labeled a mutt, by when I came into yoga therapy. They said, you are truly a mutt, and I said, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure there's a better word for it.
That would be me. I embrace it because because mutts have are
strong constitution.
Strong constitution, and they're they tend to not have a lot of the diseases
that pedigrees have. Yes,
pedigrees.
I totally agree. My favorite dog was a mutt.
So if that is the case, I embrace mud wholeheartedly.
I agree with you. Every tradition has something so beautiful to add, and we need to taste from all those palettes to be able to make a masterpiece of a class, and to help people understand how they can try things out.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And I do a lot of things now that in classes and in therapeutics that are way off what people perceive as the beaten path. I was just doing a live series for Yoga International, and I knew a traditionalist jumped in and said, I've never seen a yoga class quite like anything like this.
That's a compliment.
Well, this is more therapeutic based. This is I've done this a long time, and I pick up a lot of things along the way that let's call it variations on the theme.
Great.
Variations rather than
prescription or
classic.
I had a really great teacher, Manuela Janssen de Heide in Germany. She had a clinic. She was a yoga teacher, Ayurvedic practitioner, a masseur, and she would collect stuff from football training, from ballet, from karate. She would mix everything in. It's just movement, and the body needs to move in so many different ways. Yeah, there's just so much good stuff out there.
Yeah. That's why I love taking yoga therapy into people's homes. And some people will feel that I don't know if I want you to come into my house because it's going to might be messy, or the cat will be in the way, or there's going to be something strange in my, and I say, I want that.
Yeah.
Because that's real. And that's how you're going to be practicing when I'm not there. Mm-hmm. And you need to have I need to say, okay, you see that funny elephant statue over there? You can use that to do this thing, and that's about the right height for this little wiggly piece that we're going to do that's great for your shoulder. And then, you see this, over here, if you just kind of drape yourself over that, that's about the right size or about the right level to get to that point in your upper back, and helping people understand that they maybe don't have to go out and get
props,
expensive pieces of stuff that are exactly the thing that they don't have to go out and spend $300 and to get exactly what you need, that you can use the things that you have to get the desired effect. And I think a lot of people steer away because they're afraid that it's all about
material. Material.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. And that's one thing. I used to go to India a lot for trainings, and I used to love that they were just inventive. Use the door, use the windows, use the bars, use a sock, use something else, use your sari. You can use anything. You don't need to buy the props. So I really appreciated that creativity.
Yeah. Use your braid to link your hands and I don't have a braid, but
me neither. My hair won't grow anymore. So tell us, I also read that you studied Sri Vidya Tantra. What is that? Is that the Devi Tantra?
Yeah.
Goddess.
That is from the Himalayan tradition, and it goes back to Shankara, but it's through the Himalayan Institute. I lived there for some time at the Himalayan Institute in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. And they also have a branch in India. I have several branches, but I studied there, and it definitely has impacted my teachings, and certainly how I practice and teach meditation. Definitely impacted that. I think I have said, I meditated for 20 plus years before I
started practicing the poses.
Before I actually meditated.
Okay, yes.
It was like I had been sitting, slugging it away, trying to wrestle my brain to the ground, and it was like, oh my gosh, Prachardana, this technique, I got this, and it was like the placement of where to put this, and it's so simple, and boom, in the pocket.
Great. What was it? Concentration techniques?
It's focus of the breath, and the isolation of the breath to the upper nasal tissues and to the midbrain, and building that reservoir to the middle of the mind. But it's other ways of doing it. You asked me to come up with some things that one of the things that I never hit before were things like little things that I learned in that tradition that I never hit anywhere else were like this little breath technique that people can do. It's like a little husky bastrika, and that people can do that help vibrate the soft palate right above, right, and it's right at the point where the pineal and the pituitary, right at that point, and it's this, how in Bastrika you'll want to have the breath be from the abdomen, so you could start with that weight of breath, that kind of with the through the nostrils.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly rapid, but not super forceful.
Mm-hmm.
And then restrict it slightly, like you would if you were in Ujjayi, like.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So it becomes
Sounds like a saw.
Yeah.
So it reverberates right at that point. And then inhale and hold it right there. Boom. So simple.
Mm.
When you let it go, then you get that nice, oh yeah, vagus nerve immediately.
Wow.
Vagus nerve immediately goes.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
Great.
Even one time.
Mm-hmm.
One time.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that to help with. There are multiple ways that you can help build that reservoir in the pranic field.
Mm-hmm.
in the midbrain. But building the pranic field to me is the key to being able to drop into meditation wherever you are.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I also felt I did a training with David Frawley, and what he explained was, it's great. And it was that first, obviously, you do the asana or the poses for people who don't know what asana is, to strengthen and clear the body, to be able to hold this prana, and then you do the pranayama practice to feel the prana, and each time you get more subtle, and then you do the concentration techniques, or the withdrawal and keeping your attention within the body, and then the concentration, and then you get to this state of meditation naturally, because you're using those 8 limbs as steps as well within your practice. And I found that very, very efficient to get there very quickly.
The way beautiful. The way it was explained to me, it was through pranadharana.
Okay. Yes.
Which dharana as not a concentration on something, but a concentration of something.
Yes. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. But it's kind of the same.
Building.
Yeah.
You're not building a concentration, because that's what most of us are trying to do is harness the mind, grab the mind, get it. Yeah.
It's always a battle.
It's build that concentration.
Let it fill up. Yeah. Beautiful. Lovely. So tell us, Beth, about your book. You've written this amazing book for yoga therapy for fear. And you talk a lot about the vagal nerve in there. And
go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do you believe that fear is the root of anxiety, depression, and rage? Or it contributes? Absolutely. Okay.
Fear is manifest as anxiety, depression, and rage. And doshically, when we're talking Ayurvedically about dosha, and about vata, pitta, kapha, and when we're also talking about fight, flight, freeze, okay? Those traumatic responses to things, right? The fight, flight, freeze directly correlate to anxiety, depression, and rage, all right? So a pittic person is most likely to react to a fearful situation with
anger.
I'm afraid. I have to fight my way out. Yeah. I got to do something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to, for people who don't know what Pitta is, who are Pitta individuals, can we just explain what a Pitta individual is?
Yeah. Fiery dosha, fiery water, fiery with a little water, but a
bit like type A's.
Yeah, type A's. Okay, basically, yeah. I won't go into it too much.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Let's just get very simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we all know pittas, and when they're in balance, they are leaders. They are strong. They are, they are
motivated.
They keep
driven.
On path. Yeah. They are motivated. They are driven. When they're off balance, they can't see your point of view. They tend to get mad easily and
impatient.
Not their season.
Manipulating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when they are, a lot of people have tried to argue with me that anger is not fear, but we see in war that's how that's how people
react.
Yeah.
It's a reaction from the fear. It's not fear, but they are connected. Yeah.
Exactly. It is indeed a traumatic response. I am afraid. I have to fight.
Yeah.
It is. I have to fight it. I have to fight you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then a Vedic type, and no one is one thing all the time, and no one is one thing throughout their entire life. We mix it up. And Vedic types are more airy, spacey types, and they tend to be.
They're very open, friendly.
Yeah.
But also very insecure.
Yeah, they're free thinkers. They think of a lot
creative.
Of different ways. Yeah, but when out of balance, they're forgetful. They're too spacey. They tend to
have anxiety.
Yeah. They tend to run away. Flight. They tend to say, "I don't want to be here. I can't. I'll just get out of this situation. I can't." Okay? Flight.
Yeah.
And the
kapha.
Kaphic type, freeze, depression, down. I can't. I'm too tired. I don't want to move. I can't. I just won't deal with it.
Yeah.
I won't. I can't.
They give up.
And kapha, that earthy, watery,
heaviness.
Muddy quality.
Yeah.
But kaphic qualities can be very positive.
Yeah, they're devotional, patient.
They can be loving.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So those are doshically what's going on with the fear. Ultimately, underneath all of it, yoga looks at all of it as abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is fear of death, which one of my next books is about death. itself and how we don't handle death well, and we perpetuate fear of death societally by mishandling and distancing ourselves from death all of the time. And
yeah, we hide it. We try to push it away and not look at it. All we hear and all we see is people wanting to be young and live long. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Segregating death. We segregate every age. We don't even want to see
old people.
We don't want,
Yeah.
No. Put them somewhere. Old people need to be with old people. And
it's very sad.
Yeah. It is not how a village works, and a village is how we are meant to be, and so that is in essence what the title of the book is about. Now, underlying how we effectively deal with all of those is the vagus nerves. And we know that there are a lot of ways to access these cranial nerves that we have a number of cranial nerves. These are the 10th of the cranial nerves that run to all of our major visceral organs, and they connect these. And we think of them as these little spindly, maybe one nerve. These are massive. These are thousands of nerve fibers that cradle our organs. I have a slide that shows these massive fibers that come down, and they even cradle the floor of your pelvis. They cradle your heart. They cradle your stomach, your liver, your kidney, your spleen. They are your communicator that go up and tell your brain it's okay. And there is 10 times the amount of data going from your organs to your brain than there is from your brain to your organs. So your brain is not talking as much to your organs as your organs are to your brain. So a lot of times what's going on is you get into a situation and your gut is saying, this isn't right. And then your head says, oh, no, it's terrible. I'm afraid. Okay. So our job is to find ways to re-educate the nervous system. And yoga is a system by which we re-educate the nervous system. One, I won't say it's the only way, but it's a pretty damn good way of re-educating the nervous system. Yeah. And there are cool hacks that we do, things that we do throughout our day so that people know what it feels like.
Would you say that if this beautiful cradling, I really love that you said this and described it, and really, so Beth was really showing how these nerves are coming from underneath and holding everything, lifting things up. Would you say that if we are constantly getting these signals from our body that we are fine or that we are not fine or that something is not going right, and we ignore these all the time, that this over time is a kind of buildup of trauma? Is that Is that possible to be said?
Yeah. So what we are then doing is walking around all of the time in fight, flight, freeze. And our bodies are tense, and our guts are tense, and our breathing is tight, and our heart rate is fast, and our blood pressure is high. And we're thinking, why do I feel like this? And why is my doctor telling me I need this medication? And why is, what's going on? Well, it's that it's not something we're bad or wrong about. It's this lack of communication. Okay.
You wrote something on your website that I really loved. It was that yoga is a system for courageous living. And yeah, I think that's a really beautiful way to say that, because we re-educate our nervous system to embody a different kind of stance, to be more receptive, and at the same time feel that we are capable to handle whatever arises. No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's and the thing that people are maybe don't understand is how simple the simple little things that they can do. They don't have to do an hour and a half
of yoga.
Of yoga in order to reap the benefits. As a matter of fact, they're just little simple hacks they can do during their day to de-escalate. And they're normal things that you do, like things that you may not be aware of, where you feel the vagus nerve. Like, did you know that when you tickle your ear with a Q-tip, that's vagal? Did you know that when you?
No, I didn't know.
When you feel that tingle feeling before a sneeze, that's
I've heard that's a nasal orgasm, actually.
Yes, orgasm.
Yeah.
Orgasm is one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to invite anybody listening. Okay. Start a smile with just your mouth. Just smile with your mouth. Okay. That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay. I just saw her smile with just her mouth. That's all. Okay. Now let it invade your eyes. Okay. Invade your eyes. Okay. Eyes. Did you feel it?
Yeah.
Can you feel it? Yeah. And you feel that whole tingle?
Yeah. Down the whole face. Yeah.
Down the whole face. It'll go down your whole spine if you let it.
Oh, wow.
Down your whole, all your organs will feel it.
It's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one.
Okay. Wow. So easy.
Yawn. Oh, big stretch. Oh, big one. Oh, boy. Oh. That's vagal.
Yeah. That's every morning.
Okay. Yeah. And if people would do an entire 3 or 4 minutes of yawning.
Oh, wow.
Stretches, just do that. They would just, even if they're maxed at work, and they can't maybe do it at their desks or whatever, just go to the bathroom and just yawn and stretch or whatever. Okay. Now, White Tantra will teach people to take cold showers, which is a great, or immerse yourself in cold water, or do cold water on your face, cold water on your wrists, cold water. Buddhism will have you do cold water on before meditation. Vagal hack. All right. Another thing you can do, if you can't stand it, a whole cold shower, start it warm, cold, turn it down. I know those of us who are a little vodtic, it's like
it's really hard.
Yeah, but turn it down. At the same time, gargle. in the shower. Put the water in your mouth and gargle. Try to gargle until your eyes water.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I've never done that. Okay, I'm going to try it tomorrow morning.
Gargle until your eyes water, because a lot of our traumatic stuff is also stored in
our
optic
eyes.
nerves.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And in a lot of the research that's been done, we know that optic nerves store a lot of, I know I talk too much.
No, tell us. It's super interesting.
Yeah. A lot of it's stored. When people have flashbacks in PTSD, they'll have these memories that get stored. This is limbic system stuff, right? Too. Limbic system will light up in MRI, and the optic, the center of the brain, back of the brain, optic center will light up in flashback. Gargle until your eyes water to assist, and this will also trigger your vagus nerves. And another area that's problematic is your trigeminal nerves in your jaws. So you want to get your mouth really nice and wide. Vagus also innervates your tongue and your jaw. So you want to really work on that, opening the jaw. Another really great thing, extend your tongue too. So that's a great thing to do. Yeah. It's something, these little things that we've been told, the people who suppress their sneezes and their yawns.
Everything. We suppress everything. We're not allowed to pull funny faces. We're not allowed to express ourselves. No wonder we're all traumatized. Yeah.
I mean, we know now that if people who sneeze with little, this thing, little snorts, they're blowing out their pelvic floors.
Really?
Sneeze, for God's sake. Yeah, do.
I love sneezing.
I love sneezing. Sneezing is great. Except when it's allergy season, and then I don't get tired. But sneeze, yawn, move, stretch, do funny faces, unhinge your jaw, let go of some stress under your tongue and behind your tongue and in your neck, and these vagus nerves run from your medulla down through your throat, down through the throat, and so we want to elongate through the neck and throat, and take time during your day to do lateral stretches of the neck. Self-massage of neck and throat are excellent to help keep those nerves mobile. Nerve flossing of the neck with tilting of the head to keep the mobilization of the neck. Great ideas.
Yeah, wonderful. And so you're saying that if there's stiffness around the neck and shoulders, the vagal nerve suffers because it's not able to release the tension in the nerve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got, if your fascia is bound up around the nerve tissue, move, shrug. Mobilize, find ways to oil up, grease up, squish up that fascia, and release some of the tension around those wicked those trapezius that get so fierce up there, and these scalenes in the neck that get rigid, and those strappy muscles in the neck that get so tight and wicked hard.
Thank you, Beth. This is lovely. I just have one more question. I was reading one of your articles about panic attacks So Beth has written
Yeah.
many articles on Yoga International. Yeah, I was like, which one do I choose? So I read few, but this one I think is relevant to this for fear. You say panic attacks are not always related to trauma, but they are definitely related to low self-esteem or self-worth, sorry. And how does that affect, how does low self-worth again affect anxiety, depression, and rage?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they unground us. Our lack of feeling like we're worth being here on the earth tends to make us feel unrooted, and that's uh, I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're asking there, but the continually telling ourselves that we're not okay enough, or having heard that at some point, um, or or being or having lost out on opportunities repeatedly, and
Mm.
and hearing for ourselves that we're not okay,
Yeah.
is is it takes its toll,
Yeah.
and it takes its toll in our nervous system, which isn't necessarily a thinking thing.
Mm.
Our nervous system just registers the feel. It just registers the feel. It doesn't register the think. So we can retrain the feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and in the article, I talk about the breath, about the elongation of the exhalation, for one thing, which is the number one hack for your nervous for the vagus nerve.
Vagal. Yeah.
Yeah, which is elongating the exhalation. A lot of people will say if somebody's upset,
Breathe
take a deep
out.
breath.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
take a deep breath. Yeah,
Which is
which
worse.
immediately is and
Yeah.
what do you do when you're panicked? Is death. Well,
Yeah.
that's the wrong way. That's sympathetic. You want parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So, and how do you know if if it's rest and digest? You'll have an increase of saliva.
Ah, wow. That's interesting.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
you'll know if it's working by an increase in saliva.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great tip. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It is cool. Yeah. You'll know if it's working. Okay. And you'll know if this trick is working for you by an increase in saliva in your mouth. So you might try first off, if you can't do this little hack that I'm going to give you, but by just try lengthening your exhalation.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly short inhalation, fairly long exhalation. Yeah. Not panic about how long it is. Don't try a breath count. Nothing like that. Don't prescribe anything for yourself. Just make your exhalation long.
It's already working. It's great.
Is it increase in saliva?
Yeah. I just did 3 breaths. Yep. It's
Okay.
great.
And some people, it helps if they put a little voice with it, like a little hum out or something.
Yeah. Is that because of the vibration?
Yeah, and you have to constrict the epiglottis to make your voice to control the voice. So a little sometimes a little sing of the voice or a hum of the voice or something to give yourself an elongation that makes it natural. Okay, so that's one. And in the article, I talk about just crossing the wrists. I talk a lot of book about cross patterning because of I won't go into that a bunch. Maybe we could talk again sometime. But right and left hemispheres of the brain. And because right limbic is where most trauma gets settled. Most trauma is lodged in right limbic brain. And we want to get things over to left prefrontal cortex where we have a talk center, where our Broca center is.
Can I ask why it's in the right side?
Right is where that is fear central. That is where we have like the recording process of, okay, this is that is
safe
that
or
is
not
like
safe.
Primal fear center, and that will get stuck there like a photograph. If you've gone through a major trauma, often it'll be there like a photograph, like a frozen frame in time. And it's very hard to communicate that to the left prefrontal cortex, which is speech center. And that's why talk therapy is often less effective unless we can get it communicated from right side of the body to left side of the body, which helps us get it from right side of the brain
to the left side. Oh, wow. Oh, so effective. And so easy.
So that's why yoga therapy is so very important, or why it works. Why Tai Chi or Qigong or lots of different movements, or choreography,
dance,
things that where we touch one side of the body to the other side of the body. Okay. So in this movement, you're going to take your right hand to your left leg and your left hand to your right leg, and just stroke down as you exhale long and inhale fairly short, down the outside of the legs and up the inside of the legs, and then do that about maybe 4 or 5 times. And then you can reverse it down the inside and up the outside. And if people have difficulty reaching all the way to their ankles and feet, it's okay. It's wherever you are. And if people are at work, they don't have to go all the way down to their ankles and feet. The point is to get grounded, to get back into, upper body connects to lower body. I think it's Bessel van der Kolk. I know it's Bessel van der Kolk says that the most important thing that we can do is to give people a sense of safety in their own bodies. And primary for treating trauma and fear is to give people a sense of safety in their own bodies and panic. So getting upper body connected back to lower body. Yeah. And getting connected breath, upper body, lower body, right side, left side. Yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah. I practiced yoga since I was a child. I started when I was 15, and I didn't realize I was anxious, and I was swinging through anxiety and depression. And it was so effective to do yoga, just made me feel good and confident and self-assured. And so I just did it every day. And I noticed if I didn't do it, I didn't have that feeling. So it was very effective. Yeah. And Beth, this has been so wonderful. Thank you for all these practices. You've just given us like a whole bunch. I think we've had like 5 practices.
Buckets. Yeah. So,
Is there anything you want to share with listeners? Anything you feel we haven't covered?
oh, probably.
I know, but pertaining to our talk. I'm sure. Yeah.
I just want to say, let go of some of the stiffness, and but just allow yourself breaks during your day to give yourself the treat of movement and breath. Don't think that yoga is something you have to do in an allotted minute, an allotted hour in your day, or that you have to have a certain thing to wear, or a certain set of props, or a certain thing. Take time during your day to stretch, move, breathe, move your eyes, move your jaw, move your tongue.
Yeah.
Stretch your legs out. And if nothing else, just a breath, just a conscious breath. And know that you're in your yoga for a little while. That's the thing I would want people to be aware of, that they do not have to step out of their life to do yoga, that yoga is something you fuse into your life.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. It's an important thing to say. Yeah. So, Beth, I will put, now I'm losing my voice, I will put all your links, your book, your article, especially this one with the panic attacks, in the show notes. Is there anything you want to share with people, listeners, about your work?
Sure. Well, while you're at it, link the one about screen time, about screens and apnea.
Okay, screens and apnea. Okay,
that one. Yeah. That one's interesting too.
Okay,
people will find that interesting. How we hold our breath when we're on screens.
Yeah, I've noticed that even on myself.
80% of us are holding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially on small screens like phones.
Oh God,
we're holding our breath.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will definitely share that
when kids. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun stuff. So it's wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. You're a lovely guest.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone's been lovely. It's been very much fun.
Yeah. Wonderful fun.
Yeah. Yes. We'll say goodbye, listeners. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Well, thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So thank you everyone for staying to the end of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I really love doing these talks with these amazing people. And if you want to know more, just take a look in the show notes. There's plenty of links and ways to connect with either the guest or myself. If you want to work with us or find out more about us, just check out the information in the show notes. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend or week, and you'll be hearing from me next week. Bye.